The new notes first. I'm just going to do a couple problems, 2 problems in particular. That'll be the new stuff. This is the last section of chapter 5, absolute last one.
Really?
And then tomorrow we'll start reviewing for the test. Test will be this Thursday. So you get a 2-day review. So we'll kind of then we'll have you take it when you're back and whatnot. So if you're gone Thursday.
I'll be here Thursday.
Okay. All right. But yeah, we'll have test
I
Thursday.
just won't be here Friday,
Okay.
because I'll be gone all day, so
Yeah.
what are we doing Friday?
Probably review test, of course. So it'll be easy. So test this Thursday. We'll do a 2-day review like we always do. You get a practice guide in hand. I always like to keep you guys up to date on what you're doing. So just make sure you have calculators this week. It'd be a smart idea. I only got 2 problems that are left that we need to cover. So let's talk about the first one. This is something I've been hinting at the last couple of days. This is the absolute last section, is section 5.7. So section 5.7 is the last section that we have. It's going to be fuel and repairs.
Ooh.
So these are the other things that people don't think about when you buy a car, especially if you buy used. You got to worry about the fuel you're putting in it, because number one, fuel makes a huge difference, gives you the best gas mileage possible, and prevents unnecessary repairs. If you put the wrong type of fuel, you can ruin your ruin your fuel pump. You can get poor gas mileage. Your engine just doesn't burn right. So it's one of those things. I know it seems weird. I always try to put the premium in, like without ethanol, but I know that with ethanol it's significantly cheaper. It does make a difference in vehicles, and it does make a difference where you buy fuel. Certain places sometimes don't replace their tanks for fuel, so they have a lot of condensation built up, so you could ruin your engine because there's actually water in the fuel. It's kind of condensation built up.
That's why our boss stopped buying diesel from Cenex. He got a whole tank of water, pretty much. He got pretty much a whole bunch of water.
It happens.
And he noticed his truck was running wrong, so he had to drain it, and it was mostly water, not diesel.
Yeah. Here's something that just word to the wise. Anytime you get fuel, anytime, no matter where it's at, doesn't matter if it's at Cenex, Casey's, Quick Trip, if you're over in Mason getting it from the Fleet Farm place or Walmart, always get a receipt. Every single time, get a receipt. Keep the receipt, keep it in your dash, keep it until you get your next fuel, then replace it. The reason why is if you get fuel, let's say you get water in your tank, and it ruins your engine, and they're like, well, why is there water in here? Like, I don't know, I just filled up a couple days ago from Fleet Farm. Well, they can go to Fleet Farm and say, hey, has anyone else come in with water in their vehicles? And if they say yes, and you have a receipt, they'll fix your car and take care of all the repairs for you. So it's one of those things, you should do that for every gas station you go to. They will all do it. It's kind of an agreement when you're getting fuel that if it causes problems, they will cover the cost of repairs. It is a super smart decision to do that. I know it seems tedious, but just keep it like a little space in your car just for that one receipt under your seat, tucked into a little, visor above your head. Just keep it somewhere. But let's talk about fuel. So let's say that fuel costs. So let's say you're going to go get some gas, and the price of gasoline is, let's go with $2.13 per gallon. $2.13 now. On the fuel pump, if you're ever looking at them, it'll say $2.13.999999 or $2.12.999999. They have multiple decimal places because they're trying to get as accurate as possible. So you go to the gas pump, it's going to cost you $2.13 wherever you're going. Maybe you're getting premium stuff, you're not getting the super unleaded or whatever. And you're going to pump. Let's say you're going to get so many gallons of fuel. Let's say that you know that you're going to need about 7 or 8 gallons. So let's go 7 gallons of fuel. So you start pumping, right? Don't follow the gallons in your car. Follow the price, because the price is what you should be paying.
$14.91.
Yeah, you're going to be in that ballpark, right? Because you're just multiplying these 2 numbers together. You're taking that 7 gallons times the $2.13 and say it again, $14.91.
Yep.
This is the cost, what should be. And it makes sense. Like when I'm at the fuel pump, and I know it costs about $2 a gallon, roughly $2. I should know if I'm getting 7 gallons, I should be in the 14 range. Just keep track of that, keep track of the price. Because if you start to notice the price starts to creep up too fast, maybe there's a problem with the gas pump. They're charging you too much money for the gallons you've got. It's something you should keep track of. And other things, after you know the price and you're done, it's done pumping or whatever it is, and you check your price and the price seems right, go back and look how many gallons you filled your tank with.
Have you ever had that happen to you?
Where what? Where it's causing issue on price?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had it before. It usually happens right when they're going to switch the price of fuel during the day. It causes an issue, and it's actually more expensive than I thought it was. So, the other thing, check how many gallons you use, because if you know that your tank can hold 12, and suddenly you filled it with 13, either you were really low, or did you just drop some out the bottom of your car? You should check before you drive away. That type of thing. Because maybe there's a hole in your gas tank, or in the fuel line, maybe a spring and leak. That's just something you should check. You know, how much fuel are you constantly using? Don't run your cars to empty. It hurts the fuel pump. You should always, rule of thumb is always have about a quarter tank left. Fill it up before then. Don't run it all the way dry. I know that sometimes you can't help that, but you should always keep it above that quarter tank so it doesn't hurt the fuel pump. Because it does have to create pressure to pull it through the line, and if there's not a lot of fuel in there, it has to build up more pressure to pull it, and it causes some problems with the fuel pump. So, but yeah, so this is the first problem. Does that make sense what we're doing? Not really that difficult. Second problem we have to talk about is repairs. All right, so the second problem, we got to talk about repairs. Let's say you're going in and you're going to get some new tires done. Okay, happens. You got to get some new tires. So they'll tell you whatever your tires are, 65 R13s or whatever it is. I don't know what your tires are going to be, and it's going to be $65.95 each. You're going to Walmart and you're going to get some super cheap tires. Okay.
What is it? 65.
$65.95 for each tire, and you're going to get all 4 tires. Minimum when you get tires, they always make you buy 2, but we're going to get 4.
$263.80.
Okay, so 4 times 65.95, and say it again.
$263.80.
$263.80. Okay.
That ain't bad. Mine
Not
was
bad.
like $580.
The thing is, when you're getting tires, sometimes it's worth it to know what type of tire it is. Not the brand. I don't care about brand. I care about, is it all leather? Is it rain tire? Is it
All terrain.
yeah, all terrain? That's what you got to be worried about. Then also worry about how many miles can you go on it. Maybe the tire's only rated for 40,000 miles. I know that seems like a lot of miles, but that's not a lot if you have to replace them in 2 or 3 years. Then you have to go through that whole process again, and they could be possibly worn out by then. So try to get something with higher mileage. I know it's nice and convenient when you go to like a certain super center and you're like, God, they're really cheap tires. Yeah, but you're getting what you pay for. Sometimes they don't last. Now, here's the thing. When you're getting your tire, right, $263.80, they're going to add tax to it. So this is something we didn't talk about. Taxes in the state of Iowa. Tax is 7% in Iowa. It fluctuates. Sometimes it's 5.5, sometimes it's 7, sometimes it's 7.5. So here's what you do. You take your $263.80 for all the parts. You're going to multiply it by 1.07. This will automatically add your tax in for you.
$282.26.
$282.76. Okay, now
26.
26.
Mm-hmm.
282.26. All right. Now that added the tax in for you. Now at certain places, sometimes they'll add labor. If you go to Glenn's, they don't. If you go to what's that tire place over by Lions Field? What's that place? I think they add labor, so hours worth of work or whatever it is, or half an hour, whatever they're going to charge you. Just make sure you know how much that is before you start getting your tires changed. Like, hey, do you guys charge labor? How much is it per hour? If they say no, labor's free. You bought the tires from us. Cool. if they suddenly go, oh, well, labor is $70. $70 an hour?
It's,
Maybe I shouldn't do it here.
tires don't take an hour.
No, they don't. And so that's something you should think about. Like, they're adding an inflated price because they're charging a lot per labor. So maybe you want to shop around a little bit. Don't be afraid to say, no, I'll go somewhere else and I'll find tires somewhere else. At one of those places, if they offer warranty on your tires,
Take it.
take it. I will give you a real life story from mine. I will not tell you what place of business it was. I will not tell you if it was Mason City, Clear Lake, or Garner, or anywhere like that. I bought 4 new tires for my BMW. 4. Very expensive tires. They're Sport Cup 2 tires. They were like $500 a piece.
Jeez.
Right? Super expensive tires because it had to be a high performance car. Needed high performance tires. So I bought my tires. So spent $2,000 right there on tires, right? That wasn't in labor, that wasn't tax. $2,000. Bam. Got them changed, drove home. Woke up the next morning, all 4 tires were flat. I'm like, oh man, maybe they just didn't seal it right. I'm like, that's weird, all 4 are flat. I mean, it was on the ground on my rim. Like, ooh. All right, so went and called the place. I'm like, hey, all my tires are flat. And they're like, oh, well, can you bring it in? I'm like, I can't drive it. It's literally on the rim. It's like on the ground. Well, if you can get a tow truck to bring here, we'll take a look at the tire. I bring it in. Had 4 nails in it. Conveniently placed in a spot where they couldn't patch it. Convenient.
Sure.
Couldn't patch it, and they wouldn't give me a refund.
Wow, what a hustle.
So what I did is I threw the tire at them, and I went somewhere else and bought a new tire. I wiped out a whole stand of tires on them because I threw my tire at them.
I would have done more.
So,
I would have threw all 4.
yeah, they got a tire right through one of their stands that had all their rims on it, and I didn't even care. So, yeah,
I
it
would
was
have
quite the
just
hustle.
taken out the whole
So,
store and just
yeah,
dump all of
probably
them
not
out.
the smartest thing to do, but I was pretty upset. And I heard about a week later they did to somebody else, and somebody threw something right through their front window.
Awesome.
Yeah, okay.
Payback.
Yeah. All right. So it wasn't just me. They were hustling everybody. All right. So anyway, I won't tell you what place it was.
Oh, come on.
Nope,
Ward,
not gonna do it.
come on.
I'm on camera. So,
After
now,
class.
no, I don't even think they're in business anymore. All right, for a reason probably. All right, now, these are things you need to think about. Warranty, not a bad idea, but it's not expensive. Like, get the receipts, get your warranty if they cover it. Gas, keep your receipt in case there's water in the line. Sometimes it happens, not their fault. Build up condensation. That's why those gas stations need to replace their tanks every now and then, so it can prevent leaks and stuff for water getting in. Those are like little things you don't think about. Another major repair that I didn't cover: brakes, rotors.
Those are about $30 a piece per car.
They're pretty expensive. So, if you're doing the work yourself, it's cheap. If you are taking it somewhere, they will charge you a lot for doing brakes because it's a time process, and sometimes they take their sweet time, so they can rack up the bill a little bit. But it's one of those things like you gotta trust the place you're going to get it repaired. Don't just go to the cheapest place around. Search around.
You
see
have
if
to
you
give
can
them
find-
a date so when they get it done, like,
Mhm.
say you need it.
Yeah. It is one of those things like you should have them give you a cost, before you get started. Maybe you can negotiate a price before they even get started on it. Like one of those things, it's one of those things, it's just a realistic thing. You should always, when you start getting a vehicle, always put a little money aside every month if you're working in case of a rainy day fund when you need it, when you have to get new tires or you have to get the ball joints replaced in your car because those are expensive a little bit. Little things like that you don't realize because you're not going to be able to fix it yourself sometimes. Maybe you are, if you're handy like that, but still costs money for the parts and stuff. So these are little things. Questions with the new stuff?
Mm-mm.
Okay, all right, I'm gonna get rid of that stuff. We don't need that on the board. All right, the homework that we had on Friday, that was page 126, 127, 128, and 129. It was based on mileage, fuel, it was based on speed that you're traveling, it was based on average fuel consumed. Those were the 4 types of problems. If you want me to do any specific one, I can do that. I'll just make up a problem. In particular, the videos are online, so you can see them. That assignment is due tomorrow. The only one I think that has an excuse would have been Graf here. He wasn't here on Friday, so Graf that'll be done Wednesday for you. So you
I'll
get
just
extra
get it
day.
done tomorrow during study hall.
Okay, but that stuff is due tomorrow, so don't wait. It does take a little bit of time because there's 4 pages there that you have to do. Test will be this Thursday in here. We'll probably look at our practice test tomorrow. So, okay. Questions though? Okay, that's it. Yeah, the rest of the time we kind of worked today. I did promise you that.